2 days down, 2 days to go. At the halfway point of the Cheltenham Festival 2022. Only had one winner, so I need to up my game a bit. I've had plenty of horses running to place money for decent prices. But Thursday's here. Hopefully we can find a couple of winners today. Kicks off 1:30, the Turner's Novice Chase, one of the most exciting renewals of this I can remember. Only 4 horses, but 2 big standout names here, Bob Olinger and Galloping the Champ, going head to head. For me, I'm in the Bob Olinger camp. He was mightily impressive in the Ballymore last year, stormed up that hill. He's 2 from 2 over fences this year. Maybe he's not put in the performance so far over fences, but I think he's saving it for today. I can see Galloping the Champ going forward, making the run-in. Bob Olinger sitting just behind. But as soon as he gets a run, I can see him charging up the hill. Rachel Blackmore just give him a little tap, and I think it'll do Galloping the Champ for pace. Galloping the Champ for me is more of a stayer, probably needs a little bit further ideally. Ground's a bit of an issue for both of them, I think, but Bob Olinger has won as a hurdler, novice hurdler last year, whereas I think Galloping the Champ struggled on his only run on heavy ground. 2 o'clock, it's the Pertemps 3-mile handicap hurdle. There's quite a strange qualifying system to this race. You need to finish in the first 6 in one of the qualifiers to get in. Obviously you don't want to win them, and winners of qualifiers have a terrible record because their handicap mark just goes too high, that they haven't got a chance. Ireland, responsible for the last 6 winners of this race. Gordon Elliott has saddled 4 of those. So we're looking for unexposed horses from Gordon Elliott. The one I like is Boyne, who's got the perfect profile for this race. He finished 5th in a qualifier, ridden patiently, comes here off bottom weight. I think that's ideally what you need in the ground. There's been a lot of rain around, so it's really heavy testing ground we saw on Wednesday. He's a highly progressive 7-year-old, only had the 8 runs over hurdles. If you go back through some of his form from last year, he finished 2nd to Bob Olinger, who I said I think is one of the best horses in training. He also finished 2nd to Capadano. I'll also have a small each way saver on Ballyandy for Nigel Twiston Davis. He's 11-year-old, so he doesn't really fit the profile that I like for this race. Obviously, unexposed handicappers. He's been around the block, obviously, he's an 11-year-old. But he has had a new lease of life this season. Some of his back form at the festival was great. He's got loads. If you go back to 2016, he won the Champion Bumper. 2019, he was placed in a Coral Cup. He's £4 lower in the weights than his last appearance at the festival. That's because he has had 2 wins since then. Conditional jockey Finn Lambert's booked to take the ride. He takes off £10. In the heavy ground, I think the lower the weight, the better. So they're my 2 against the field in the Pertemps. Again, it's a big field handicap, so shop around for each way places. But yeah, Dunboyne and Ballyandy for me. 250, it's the Ryanair Chase. Allaho to me looks like a good thing here, but I'm not going to put him up as my selection. If you ask me for one horse to win all week, it probably would be Allaho. My only concern is I don't like the price, but B, I'm not sure he's going to handle the ground. I'd much rather take 12 to 1 about a horse that finished 2nd to him last time, which is Janadil. I think Janadil's a good solid each way option here at 12 to 1. As a novice, he won a graded race, grade 1 at Punchestown. As I said, he finished 2nd in the John Durkan to Allaho. If you go back through some of his form, he also beat Longhouse Poet, who won the Thirsties. That was on heavy ground, so I think he'll like this this ground. I'm willing to forgive him his last 2 runs. The last 2 runs were over 3 miles. I don't think he quite stays out the trip there. But back here, 2 mile 4 furlong, should be ideal for him. So Janadil, 12 to 1 each way. 3:30 is the Stayers Hurdle, the feature of day 3. I've been flip-flopping around this race for a while now, changing every year as the years progressed. But for me, in the last 24 hours, with the ground coming the way it is, I'm fully behind Royal Kahala. She's 6-1 now. She has been cut in because she's got this great form on soft ground. Whether you want to back her win or each way, that's up to you. I'm going to back her each way because I think she's going to hit the frame. She's 7 years old. She's progressing with every run. She gets the £7 mare's allowance, so she's going to be carrying less weight than the geldings. Her form on soft and heavy ground is ran 7 times, won 5, and finished second in the other 2. Last time out, she won a Grade 2 at Gowran Park. Classical Dream was well down the field that day, but that probably wasn't a real Classical Dream. But if you look back in the form of that race, it's worked out quite well. Commander of the Fleet, who was well down the field, won on Wednesday in the Gold Cup. I think Ashdale Bob was also in that race, finished 3rd, so the form's worked out pretty well from there. There's going to be a lot of pace on here with Flooring Porter and Classical Dream, who like to get on with things. If they go too hard too early, I think Royal Kahala can sit just off the pace, come through, and give us a winner here in the 3:30, the Stayers Hurdle. 4:10 is the Festival Plate, and I've gone for another mudlark here in the form of Adrimel. He's trained by Tom Lacey, who had a horse placed in Ultima on Tuesday. Currently around an 18-1 shot. Only had the 3 runs, so he's very unexposed 7-year-old. Now, the minimum number of runs you need to get a handicap mark is 3. It's interesting that that's all he's had. He's got his mark. He comes here as a novice. He's rated 140, completely unexposed, could be anything. His form on soft ground is incredible, including his hurdling runs is 5 from 5 when heavy's in the description. He's been running at Haydock. Haydock is one of the heaviest grounds there is. It's so soft, the ground there. He will absolutely love it. The only thing that is an unknown is whether he'll handle a big field. He's been mainly running in small fields, so it might be a bit too much for him to ask on only his 4th start over fences. But if he does take to it, I can see him running really well. 450 is the Mare's Novice Hurdle. Not a race I've got a strong opinion in. Willie Mullins generally dominates this. He's won 5 of the 6 renewals since they introduced it a couple of years ago. He's got the favourite here, but she's only had 1 run. And it's a big field. It's quite a lot to ask for a horse from having 1 run to then run in a big field hurdle like this. The one I like was Envoi. How you pronounce it, I don't know. 14-1 each way for Harry Fry. 4 from 4 this season. It's won a Grade 2, but it's going to have to carry a penalty for that, which isn't obviously ideal. But it will love the ground, and it's had that bit more experience than the favourite. Tentative selection, 14-1. I won't be getting stuck in. Maybe a couple of £1 each way. Not one of my strongest selections on the card. The last race of the day is 5:30, the Kim Muir Handicap for amateur riders. Now, normally I look for the best riders in this race, but I've decided to go for a different approach on this. The horse I like is Janika. 33-1. I couldn't refuse the price. I thought it looked way too big. If you go back through this horse's form, it is verging on Grade 1 quality. Finished 2nd in the Festival Plate in 2019. That was off a mark of 156. He went on to finish 2nd in Grade 2 at Ascot. At its peak it was rated 164. Now it's dropped down £21 to a mark of 143, which seems very workable to me. It's only 9, so it's not like it's the horse is 12, 13 and completely gone at the game. Ben Bromley's booked, who's not a jockey I know a lot about, but he's going to take the £3 claim off. Blinkers and tongue tie have been added for the first time. That's an interesting angle. If that sparks anything like the form it was in a couple of years ago, this horse is as I said, is the best part of 2 Stone Welling. I had a look back through some of its form as a 4-year-old when it was running in France, and it ran a lot on heavy ground as you expect in France. So assuming it likes the ground, and the tongue tie and the blinkers can do something, then I think this is a really good price, 33 to 1 each way. Worryingly though, Henderson hasn't really had a good record in this race. He tends to focus more on the speedier types, the 2 milers, particularly on better ground as well. But I guess at 33 to 1 you can't really complain about that, can you? So they're my bets for Thursday. If I was only having one bet, I think it would probably have to be Royal Kahala in the stayers. I say the price has gone a little bit now with the ground going soft, but there's question marks about the first few in the market. Some of the 10-year-olds, I mean, they've got a bad record in the race. The front 2 are going to go too fast. I can see it just falling into a lap, basically. Yeah, 6 to 1. I think is a very good price. So Royal Kahala in a stay has been my best bet. And my best long shot, I think, would have to be Janika in the last, 33 to 1. Why not? Okay, hope you all have a good day with watching the races, and fingers crossed we find a winner.